Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here with us today. We're going to talk about a very interesting subject, how to freelance online without losing your mind. As you know, in the Wisar blog and in the previous events, lives in Instagram and webinars, we have been fully devoted to online freelancing from a hard perspective or hard skill perspective, which is more related to how to find your clients online, how to define your rates, how to prepare proposals, negotiate, how to have a good execution of your work, etc., which is really, really needed to build a sustainable freelancing career. But we have decided to dedicate the last blog post before the summer break in Spain to share with you a very important aspect of freelancing, which is your personal balance and how you can build a sustainable freelancing career from the personal side, not only from the business side. So this is what we're going to be talking about. If you have questions at any time during the session, please feel free to use the chat. Don't wait till the end. We will do a couple of personal reflections here. You don't need to answer in the chat if you don't want to, but make sure that you take some notes for yourself if you want to do the reflection with me, or if you want to do it afterwards. Just make sure that you take some time to think about this and just hopefully implement some changes that will help you also in the long term. So let's start. In our session today, we'll be talking about the art of managing yourself, how freelancing is different from full-time employment on this aspect. What are some routines that you could include in your day-to-day to help you with this? What mindfulness could do for you? Discipline and accountability, that is something needed. Sounds boring, but it's needed. Delegating and support, and also your motivations. So when we're talking about freelancing, I think this picture is really showing the reality of the freelancing lifestyle, and it's really busy in a multiple set of areas that need your attention. When you are an employee, you have a set of goals that are aligned with the company goals, which translate in a set of tasks. You have a timetable, and your boss needs to make sure that you accomplish your goals, because this is going then in translation to the company goals. But they are basically telling you what to do. And a lot of freelancers decide to be freelancers because they want the freedom of being their own boss. Yeah. And this is like a very ideal dream, but it requires a lot of effort in many areas that you were never busy with, like, for example, generating your own work and executing it and holding yourself accountable to make sure that you reach your goals. So you will start to, if you are freelancing online, you will start to see platforms, then which platform to go to, create profiles, look for jobs, submit proposals, then have conversations with clients, execute your job, your contracts, and then get paid for it. And this should not happen in a single loop, because if you do that, it means that you're only starting to look for jobs when you finish the previous one, which means there is a period of time where you are not going to be charging for the time that you're investing. So ideally, you need to have multiple loops in parallel to make sure that you have a stable income at the end of the month. And this is, of course, very demanding. So how can you do this work for you? It's all about self-management. Yeah, how to be your best possible boss from the most positive experience that you may have. So it will require a reflection on three basic areas that I consider really critical for you to balance yourself and measure how well you're doing versus what you wanted to do. And it's a simple equation. we start with the purpose. So why do you do what you do? Yeah. If at some point in time you lose that, try always to go back and remember, why did I left my job? uh, what was my priority at the moment? What did I want to achieve with the change in life? What are the services that I want to offer to which customers? Why? Yeah, go for the why. This is going to help you to keep the pace when tough times come. And that happens a lot. I always say that freelancing and entrepreneurship could be like a total roller coaster. So you have your highs, and starting is high because you have all these expectations and you start, but you will have days where lows will come, and your purpose is what's going to keep you going for the next day, and then having this persistence to achieve your goals. So what's your purpose? Keep it in the center of everything, and then think on your priorities. Priorities change while we grow up. Yeah. When you are very young, maybe just recently graduated from university, maybe you want to travel, maybe you want to just put into practice all what you have learned in the last 20 years of your life. Maybe you want to join a very nice company, or you want to make contacts for going to a next step in your career, or just have a second level of studies to specialize in something that you're really passionate about. That may be your priority at that point in time. Maybe you're living with your parents, mortgage is not something that goes into your picture, pension plans are not going to be there for you at all in your mindset. But as time passes, your priorities will change. Maybe you will have a very strong love for a sport. Maybe you get married, you have kids, maybe your parents are going to need your support. So you're going to start to balance the purpose and the priorities, and you may find conflicting priorities. Yeah, I may love my sport, but if I can only train at the time when I have to take care of my parents, maybe that's going to be a conflict that I need to manage, and I need to go back to my priorities and take decisions. This happens a lot to women. We are mostly the ones, caregivers, and our priorities, personal, familiar, and professional, are always competing, and we need to find then a balance there. So you have your purpose, then you have your priorities, and now this is very interesting. You need to define what a balanced lifestyle is for you. No one can tell you balance is this and this and that. You have your own concept of a balanced lifestyle. So you need to make sure that you know what it means. Yeah, for some, maybe I want to just work enough to make a living, but have enough time to be with my family, plus having this time for myself, and that's already good. For some others, could be I need to do this trip every month, or I need to be able to join my team for every day, every Saturday training the whole morning. So whatever goes into your purpose and priorities should be also combined with the lifestyle that you think it's going to be bringing you balance. And then you take all of this and you think about your business holistically. So build your business plan knowing already what you want to achieve, the time that you have, the commitments that you have, and what is it going to mean in the lifestyle that you want to build. If your purpose is to be rich and just work 50 hours a week because you need to reach to this level of income, but you have your family and you need to dedicate time for that, and you have a hobby, and also you like to meet your friends, and also you like to travel, and it's not going to be sustainable in the long term. You need to find what is the right amount of all of your priorities, in different moments in life, and just see how you can rebalance that around your purpose to make sure that the goals that you set as a freelancer and your business are achievable. If they are not, it's going to be very frustrating for you, and you might find that this lifestyle is not sustainable in the long term. Okay, so some of the things that you can do to find this balance is to think about these three specific areas as a system that needs to be always in balance, which is your body, your mind, and your soul. So sometimes you will give more importance to one or the other, usually when one of them is failing. But the idea is, before it's too late, take action to keep the balance in these three areas. So one of the things that helps a lot is to have routines. And at the beginning, when I started to hear this, I didn't like it because I don't like routines. I like, things different, in every day, a little bit of a surprise keeps the excitement of everything the same every day. But at the end, this is just giving you peace of mind. Just you will see, for example, this is very, very known. Steve Jobs, he doesn't want to, well, he didn't want to lose time thinking about what to wear. So he always wears the same, and that's it. That's already liberating part of his mind. Um, just that type of things that could be minor actions that just liberate your time, your mind. So what can you do? For example, work with your schedules to see what is your productivity level at different moments of the day and how it combines with your personal commitments. Yeah. So if, for example, you are a writer and you need a lot of focus during the morning because it's when you feel more inspired, well, make sure that you don't use those mornings to have meetings with clients, because then you're going to have the afternoon to write and it's not going to be your very most productive moment. Also, if you think that your highest productivity is at 5 p.m. and then you need to pick up your children from school, that's not going to work either. So you need to find what's the right combination for your productivity, for your whole, the whole working of your system and your commitments, and define the schedule that you would like to follow. It's only a suggestion because every day could be a little bit different and you will need to have flexible and arrange around it, but at least you have a starting point. Okay. Second, and this is going to help your body and your mind, and then consequently your soul, plan your meals and try to do them as healthy as possible. Yeah. You will think as food only to feed your body, but at the end, the food that you eat, the times that you used to eat, the quality, the how you eat, it's going to affect how your body takes this, and it's going to have an effect on the energy that you will have for other things. So if you are having a diet very charged on sugar, on carbs, if it's hard to digest, then it's going to take so much energy of your body that you may find low in energy for your most productive tasks or when you need more focus. You will find that maybe you just wake up and you are tired after sleeping 8 hours or more. So be very mindful of what you eat, how you eat, because your body will tell you something about it, but your mind will also be affected. When you have a conscious selection of your meals and you are liberating energy or even digest or consuming energy for your mind, for your more brain work, you are going to shape your goals and you are going to be feeling more, let's say, this sense of fulfillment of what you're doing. So that could be really, a big hike for your soul. The third part, and this is where I have most of the issues with, which it would be physical activity. So it's very important for your body that you move. You will only activate certain processes when you achieve a certain heart rate, but also your mind will be changing activities, changing the environment. You're not anymore in a closed room every day in the computer. You will be, in open spaces, which is very healthy also, and you will feel much better. It's difficult to set time for this when you have the priority in accomplishing tasks, but if you recognize that having your mind in a better state is going to help you to be more productive, then this is also a business decision and you will be able to find the time to prioritize it. Okay, so again, it's all about balance, and you have to think and be really kind to yourself when you define that business plan, that it's really achievable in a kind way. Yeah, it's very tempting. Okay, if I can work all the hours that I want, then I'm going to be working and working and working without stop, because if I work more, I can invoice more and then I will make more money, but that money is not going to buy your health in the long term. So it's a lot of self-management for that. Other things that you can do, it's and this is really important. The mindfulness concept has been so widely used that it's somehow losing the sense that it has. But it's basically just practice the art of being here and being now. Yeah. When you don't have that much time to dedicate to everything, then it's very important that you focus on what you are doing now. Yeah, avoid daydreaming with the future, avoid being, reflecting all the time in the past. Just try to think now, what is what you need to achieve? This person that you're talking to, what's going out of this conversation, and just help your mind to focus on the now. So what can you do to help that? One of the things is to implement, for example, meditations in your morning routines. This helps a lot to start the day. Usually, what I'm not going to ask you to share it here unless you want, but just think about how do you start your day. Yeah, it's already hard to start the day with the no, you have there the alarm, the morning alarm, but then what do you do next? Yeah, if you start already with what you have to do and this and this and that in this high speed, it's going to be stressing from minute one. So what about starting the day with, for example, 10 minutes meditation to focus, to center what's the purpose of my day, what are the things that I have to do, where do I need focus, what should I put attention to, what is important. If I want to look at my day, what is the minimum that I would like to achieve today? How did it went yesterday? Or how am I going to focus today? That's one exercise that could help a lot. Then hearing your body. I have a lot of challenges here. And by the way, I didn't tell you at the beginning, but I'm not here because I'm perfectly balanced in everything. I think the more that I can provide you is examples of things where I've seen the big challenge that this is, and where I'm failing and working still to be able to find this balance. And for example, hearing your body is something that is very difficult for me because I go on the task. Yeah. And it has been also seen during this COVID lockdowns that we started to work in areas where we were not, let's say, fully aware of our ergonomy. So how are you sitting? What's the position of your shoulders? What are your feet? How is your back? How far is the screen? Are you seeing correctly? For example, I started to have a lot of headaches, but I had to work, so I cannot stop because I have a headache because I have to work, and then it went worse and worse. And when I went to the doctor, he's no, you need glasses, so you're not having a good sight. but I was so focused on working that I didn't have the time to go to the doctor. Yeah, for example. So this is very important. Hear your body whenever you start to feel maybe I have some tension here, my back is not so well, or my feet, my legs. Well, try to stop, look for a position that releases the tension, move around a bit, feel your stomach. How is your body receiving the food that you're giving it? Hear your breathing. Sometimes we even forget to breathe. Yeah, thanks that the body knows how to breathe itself. But sometimes you're just like, you're not even consciously breathing, no? So hearing the body and connecting, it is very important there. And of course, act on time. Don't wait till you are burnt out. It's, as said, it's very tempting to go and put all the hours and all the energy because you are so motivated by your work. But don't wait till it's too late. Okay? To pay attention to your body, to pay attention to your mind. If you are very stressed, if you are reacting very aggressively sometimes, no? If you see signs of tensions on your behavior, just pay attention to that. Now we're talking about also self-management, and this means having discipline and holding yourself accountable. And this is something interesting because we are not used to put the discipline on our own hands. Usually, yeah, if you go to school, they give you, this is the timetable, this is what you're going to do. And if you don't do it the right way, someone's going to be telling you or your parents how you're doing. Then you go to university, same story. Then you go to the work, and yeah, you have your boss and your colleagues and all the eyes around what you're doing. But when you don't have all of that, it's you, the one that has to know, okay, this is what I have to achieve. To be able to get there at the end of the year, I should be checking what I do every quarter, what are the results that I got then every month, then what is happening every week, and then at the end, what did I do today? Yeah. If you don't have the discipline to define the goals and check how you're doing against your goals in the short term, we're not talking about 5-year planning. No, think about today. What were your goals? What did you do? What is missing? No one's gonna do it for you. Yeah, maybe if you wait too much, then you will see that you failed long ago and you didn't take action. So things that can help you, for example, block time in your agenda to do the things that you need to do. Yeah, I used to have, for example, my agenda open for meetings. So people will book my agenda whole day. And then I had meetings all the day, and I didn't have time to take any of the actions or execute any of the actions that I committed to in all the meetings that I had. Because at the end, if you're meeting, it's because there is some work to be done, and this is gonna create some task for you. Otherwise, maybe the meeting is not so productive. But once you have the action assigned already, you need to have the time to execute it. Yeah. So what you could do is, for example, yes, you can have some defined blocks where you meet people, and some others that are for running specific tasks. Yeah. You could have within the time block in your calendar the task directly. And this is something that I recommend you, because there's nothing more frustrating than seeing your agenda fully booked and then your to-do list growing and you don't see any checks because you have no time to execute everything. So what I suggest you to do, but this is really personal, every person will have a different way to do this. What has worked for me is put the to-dos in the agenda. So, for example, I need to send a proposal to a customer, and I know I'm going to structure it. Somehow it will take me, let's say, 30 minutes to do it. So I put this in my agenda, not in my to-do list, and I block the time, and I will do that with my whole day. Yeah. Some days you will have to block all the day and you cannot have meetings because you need to dedicate blocks for fully focusing in one thing. Yeah. Um, and that will mean no emails, no notification, no social networks checking, no, maybe music only for I use a lot the Spotify high focus playlist. So really music that is helping me to focus even more, not distracting me. No news, nothing. Maybe just the Amazon ring on the door while you are working from home, but just focus. Yeah. Second, you need to be able to draw a line between your business and your personal matters. And this is actually very applicable to working from home, being an employee or being a freelancer, because you're not in an office. If you're working from home, this is not the case for every online freelancer, but for a lot. Yeah. What happens? Maybe you're using a room in your home that is used also for something else. Depending on your place, you may be working in the kitchen, you may be working in the living room, whatever. Yeah. If you can focus there, fine. If not, try to find a corner, whatever, that you can just be working without interruptions. Otherwise, it's very difficult. There are things that you can do mechanically. So, okay, whatever you can do it, but some others you need to focus. Otherwise, you're going to spend twice the time between the interruptions to finish a task. Now, I used to be very proud of my multitasking skills. Yeah. And women in general are recognized to be better multitaskers than men. But with time, I have learned that it's not really healthy to multitask because, yes, you are doing multiple things at the same time, but maybe you are not doing each of them at the quality or the speed that is needed. And you are just prolonging the time that you're going to need for doing all of them at the right way. So, when to multitask? For example, I love to hear podcasts while I'm cooking, but this is because I can really cook mechanically what I'm doing. If I'm doing a new recipe that I need to focus to understand the order of the steps or measure the ingredients, etc., I'm not paying attention to the podcast or everything is burning and I'm just somewhere else. Yeah. So you need to define what can you do mechanically. For example, folding the clothing. That's something that you can do while watching a movie if the movie doesn't require so much focus, or hearing an audiobook for something that you want to learn, or even having a team meeting that is just about catching up how things are going. And but there are certain things that are going to require your focus and is not recommended that you multitask in very important things. So how do you know if you are multitasking excessively? Look at your screen. Yeah, if you have 15 browser windows open, plus Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and other 5 or 10 applications, and you are using them, maybe you're way too broad in your task. So try to see, do I really need all of these distractions? Yeah. Am I checking my social media for work, yeah, for marketing and these things, while trying to write a proposal for a client, while checking the balance at the bank, while maybe it's just too much. Try to do one thing, well done, fast, next. Okay. Networking is the third one. I love it because when I started, and it's very common, this happens with freelancers a lot, you need to build a network for your business. Usually, if you start to freelance in an area different than the one that you used to work, you need to build all your network of contacts in a different sector or field. So you will need to network a lot. It's been much more difficult with COVID lockdowns, But let's forget for 5 minutes about COVID and let's think how you do it normally. Yeah. Depending where you live, the agenda for events could be really overwhelming. Yeah. I live in Barcelona, and here you have, out of COVID times, you have, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 events every day about everything. And I'm guessing there are cities where you will have much more than that. So how do you choose where you go? Yeah, this FOMO, the fear of missing out, is very strong. If you want to just, you don't want to miss anything, yeah, so you just go everywhere. I cannot tell you how many boxes of business cards I have. Yeah. And what I notice is I'm going everywhere. I'm meeting a lot of very interesting people, which I love, but I don't have time to follow up with all of them. Um, some events were very interesting and I will go again. Most of them were not necessarily so interesting, but I wouldn't know. So I had to go to make the judgment myself. And this is acceptable till certain point, but then you need to always ask yourself, is this event, is this meeting, is this webinar relevant for my freelancing activities? If it's not, you don't have the luxury just to go for going and seeing people. There will be enough nice events related to your business that you could use to socialize and be productive. Networking, working should be like working. You should feel like you're working. If you're just having fun, amazing, a lot of events have free beer, and then you're meeting awesome people, and maybe there is a band over there, and you're having a nice time, but zero business, then you have to recognize this is not for work. And then this event doesn't go at the same level of priorities that other meetings will have. So my recommendation, try to socialize as much as possible with the people that you love in the particular events that you find for that. But if you are doing business networking, make sure that you do it in a productive way and be very careful how you use your time and your energy. Okay, now we have a lot of virtual events which are more difficult to get real interaction, but also I've seen a progress on the virtual events where you have these small groups that everybody has 1 minute to tell something about themselves or just kind of speed networking, but really focus because you are looking at all the screens, all the faces, and that could help you just to, go directly to the person that it's going to have some good fit for what you're looking for business wise. But there are opportunities, but still, I have, for example, learned that most of the events can be recorded and that they will send you the recording afterwards, such as this one. So you can also just get the recording and watch when it's convenient for you. If it's not so much about socializing, but about getting information or being trained or getting a new skill through that event. Okay. So one of the actions that I suggest you to implement is review every day what you did. It doesn't need to be a very long evaluation process, but just 5 minutes at least, sit down. If you put in your agenda all what you had to do, which is already in accordance with your business plan, what you want to do every year, quarter, month, day, think about how you did it versus what you were expected to do and act upon it. So, for example, yesterday I had to post the new blog post. Okay, I had an emergency, I couldn't do it. Okay, tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I need to reschedule to make sure. But I have this and this and that. How do I balance the priorities to make sure that I achieve my goals? What is more important? And then you need to negotiate with yourself. But make sure you do that. Yeah. For example, I used to do in my calendar, the meetings that I have one color, the tasks that I need to do on my own have another color or an initial sign different than the meetings. So if I completed the task, I don't delete it because I want to see what I achieved. So I put a check there. If I didn't complete it, I move it to the next day and I make sure that I book time for that. If I move something 3, 5, 4 times and I never found the time, maybe it's not that important, and at the end it will just fall. I will not do it. But just make yourself accountable, reviewing how you did and adjusting your next day or days to make sure that you achieve your goals. Now, something that is really, really critical is that you may find that you don't have the time to do everything yourself very often. Yeah, this happens in life in general, but it will happen a lot when you are a freelancer. What do you do then? My first suggestion is divide and conquer. So what other resources do you have at hand that could perform a task as you would do it or even better? Yeah, so sometimes when we start, it's just me, myself, and then I need to learn how to do everything. But maybe, wait a second, it will take a lot of energy to be very good at something that you've never worked on. It will take time, which you could be using to, generate an income for a task that you're really good at. And it can have some consequences on the quality or the speed that you can deliver on that task. So how about hiring someone to do it? Yeah, you're a freelancer, you know that you have an expertise, but there are freelancers having an expertise for almost everything. So for example, yes, I love social networks, but I don't have the time to be there interacting directly as much as I would like to. But if I don't do it, then my community is not going to be very active. So if there is someone that has the time and the expertise to do it, it will be less costly than if I do it myself, or if I try to do it myself, because maybe I will not have the time. Yeah, but I'm telling you an example of business, but this applies to life. Yeah, for example, we are working a lot from home, then we cook more, we have to clean more because we are working around the house, so everything gets more dirty, less order, etc. If you put yourself on top of your work, all the demands of keeping your house in the right conditions, that's gonna take a lot of time, and maybe there's someone who could need that job that doesn't cost that much, that you could afford, and then you will focus on the things that you do better, that no one else is going to do for you, and you will have someone helping you with other tasks that could be delegated. Yeah. For example, going to the supermarket, I used to love it, now I hate it because I see in the time that I'm here, I could be doing I don't know how many things. And I'm not really value adding because I know exactly what I want. When I order online, I get exactly what I wanted. It's not like cherry picking, it's just bring me that back. So I love to receive my groceries at home. These type of things, yeah, whatever is taking your time. Yeah, look at your agenda, and again, when you do this exercise of how did I do today, what what didn't I achieve, and why. Maybe it's because I spent the time doing this that it cost me a lot of effort, and then my time was gone. Well, maybe next time I can ask someone to do it for me, and if the price that I'm going to pay for that is going to be less than what I can charge on the same time for my work, then it's totally worth it. Because if you do it, it's costing you what you will charge a client for that time, right? So just try to see what is your value added, and what other task could be paid at a lower rate than what you charge your clients, and just delegate. The second part is, okay, what has to be done? What technology do I have at hand to help me? Yeah. And there are so many productivity tools that I am not gonna talk about every single of the ones that I have listed here because we will not finish on time. But you have tools for everything, and most of them are for free or a very minor subscription per month. And this can help you a lot. For example, the first one that I implemented when I started freelancing was Calendly, that it's using a direct connection with my calendar to let people negotiate with my agenda and just book me whenever they find that it's okay for them, knowing already that I'm available. So how does it work? You just send the link. It's connected with your calendar, and here is very important that you have your calendar updated and knowing which are the time blocks that you cannot meet and when it's really that the people will be able to talk to you and have meetings with you. And with this, you stop these useless conversations about when can you meet? I can this day. Oh, I can't. What about this? No, I can't. Then you booked, but oh no, I have something now. I need to reschedule. Okay, when can you? Yeah, that is absolutely zero value added. It takes a lot of time. It doesn't help to focus, and you don't need to be doing that. So my responsibility is to keep my calendar updated. So I'm sure when there is an open spot, it's really because people can book me and I can talk to them. And I put first my priorities, my goals, and whatever is left can be taken for others. Not all my day, as I used to do at the beginning. And you don't need to update manually your availability, because if you keep your calendar, Calendly, for example, but I'm sure there are others. I just tell you this one because I use it. Calendly will just connect to my calendar and see Sandra is available this time, so the person will get all the options, book is there, and then just send reminders even, so I don't have to, hey, remember that tomorrow we have to talk. No, the system will send the reminders automatically. If they need to cancel, it has already the possibility to go there and see, okay, these are the next available times, and the person will go and negotiate with my calendar. I don't lose any time on that. Okay. Virtual rooms. If you need to schedule calls, I guess this is much more common now, but 2 years ago, people was getting crazy when I invited them to a virtual room. I decided I use Whereby. It's a simple link. It's my room. You always get invited to the same one. So I have my room with waiting room. So no one comes to my room if I'm not really confirming that I'm meeting with them. But it's always the same link. You don't have to be sending links from there, here. No, it's the same always. And that just takes a lot of effort from me to arrange my meetings. What else? You can use, for example, social media scheduling software that just takes you out of the social networks that can be so distracting. So there are many. We use Social Boo, but you have Later, you have Metricool, you have many others. So just look what are the social networks that you use, which are the scheduling options that you have. This helps a lot to plan the content that you want to share ahead of time. And then you just schedule it and it goes. You might be in a meeting, you might be whatever. You're not going to be late to publish whatever you need to, because it's going to be already scheduled for you. Team and project management tools are also very important. I love to work with project management tools because it helps you to organize. Remember, if I want to achieve this at the end of the year, what do I need to do every quarter, every month, every week, every day? And then your team or the people that you will be working with doesn't need to be in the same company, or not, could be anyone. You could just connect them in that project, and you agree on the task that everybody has to do, and then you can just control things are going well or late, or not only for you but for a team. And then you can always know how good or how bad you are versus your commitments. Yeah, you can include your clients there, so it's really important. I use, for example, Slack to communicate with my team, and I used to, if there is a freelancer that it's already taking a good chunk of our work, then this person is also connected in Slack, and I have the people connected, so I don't have to be in the middle of every conversation because it's impossible. I will just be the bottleneck and making everybody slower. Yeah. So if you use good connection tools, for example, communication tools, sorry, I'm really obsessed with separating the personal channels from the business channels because it's very distracting and you can lose opportunities if a customer message comes in the middle of your family event chats, friends, etc. And also, it's also very disturbing if you are in the middle of the weekend and someone is sending you messages about work. In some countries, this is going to be even penalized at some point. I don't know if in France it's already happening. You could have legal problems for, sending work-related communications during or after office hours. So, for example, I decided WhatsApps are going to be for personal matters or for transition periods between personal and business matters. And I use Slack with my team to communicate very effectively, I would say, but just business. If it's about something personal, we go to Slack. But if we are talking about business, we go to Slack. What else? Marketing automation tools, for example, MailChimp. There is a lot of automations for email marketing that you can schedule to follow up on your clients. You send a proposal. If they click here, what are they going to receive next? So try to automate as much as possible to just free your time. I use Zapier, for example, when I want to just test or even implement some automations without having to hire a software developer. So this is basically connecting the APIs of different services, and then you just let the systems work. You don't have to be in the middle of every single process. But if a machine can do it and it's cheaper or free, then it doesn't make any sense that you do it. It's just taking too much of your time. Some data entry tasks, for example, I use a lot Typeform or Google Forms just to capture information and just have a funnel coming, pre-process it for you. I have, for example, I use Avasa for having the freelancers reporting the time that they dedicate to our business together, and then receiving their invoices there or sending invoices to our clients there, so we don't have to do our manual our reporting or manual invoicing. And then, for example, we use Stripe to handle electronic payments. We are not receiving or sending bank transfer information here and there. No, we have all the payments automated. So this is a way to multiply yourself, to just free time for your most value-added work, and just let the systems help you. One of the things that we do at Wisar, for example, to help you liberate that time, is we have a bot that is sending you every day the jobs that are fitting better your profile, from the ones that have been published in online freelancing platforms. And this is helping you a lot because you don't have to manually go to every platform to look for new jobs. So this is just letting technology work for you. And something else we are doing, and this is what you see here, Wisar Academy, is teaching you the fastest way to finding clients online, optimizing your profile, making your conversations with customers highly productive, no, having a good conversion rate, setting your prices in the right way, negotiating to have the better, the best rates and conditions for your contracts higher. So this is some tools that you can have to help you be more productive, to help you achieve your goals in a more sustainable and kind way to yourself. With this, I want to also invite you to go to our blog, wisar.pro/blog. Here you can find a lot of resources for your own, let's say, learning as freelancers, you will find the latest two blog posts about this subject that we have been talking about today. Whenever you're interested in exploring the job butler that I just described, you are welcome to go to Wisar.pro. Just create your account there and test the system yourself. And of course, you are welcome to join the Wisar Academy, wisar.pro/academy. That is where you will have these three different programs that you can run on your own or with a tutor to learn all of the steps that are required to get to those contracts and build this, let's say, machine of hires and stable income for you in the long term. So with this, I want to thank you. As said, our goal is just to boost the careers for digital freelancers. If there is any question, it's the time to do it now in the chat. I don't see. Let me check here now. Okay, there are no questions in the chat yet. If anyone has a question or wants to share anything about what we just shared during this last 45-50 minutes, please do so. Okay, we have here, Gloria is asking us, it's difficult to identify when we should go to do networking. I guess you refer, when do you think it's a good idea? So Gloria, do you mean when it is needed or for business purposes, or you mean when as an hour or a time frame during the day? Okay, so when for business. Okay, I would say networking is always important, but it's critically important when you need to develop your business. So if you notice that you don't have a network of people that could introduce you to potential clients, if you are not in some specific groups that could get you closer to the companies or particulars that are going to hire your services, then you know you're going to have to open your network and go to these networking events. If you're an employee, for example, it will make a lot of sense to start networking when you start to feel like it's time to make a move out of the company to another field or to go out and freelance yourself, because you need contacts, you need people that can talk about your services, that can refer you to other potential clients, and this is only possible if you build that network. So it's just business critical. When you have already established network of clients that are recurrent, and you see that is not taking so much of an effort, you may go to those networking events to build your team, for example. So you're not looking for clients because maybe you have already enough volume, but you need people that starts working with you or sharing the load with you to be able to, let's say, capture all of that volume, of that potential volume that you have. So that could be also a very good way to know future partners and collaborators. Okay. As said, this webinar was recorded. We have here Vera. I want to thank you for this great event. I found out recently about you via Facebook, so I plan to read your blog to get better informed about opportunities you offer. That's great, Vera. I'm really happy to see that we are providing you some value with these events. In the blog, you will find a lot of resources. Some of the blog posts are very dedicated to one particular subject. Some others are a bit more broader. So yeah, for sure, go there, check if there is information that you are finding useful for you. If not, if there is something missing, we are always very thankful that you write us and tell us, look, I would like to see an article about this or that that is missing and could be important. So sure, you just please go there and send us feedback. Let us know how it goes. As said, we have the Wisar Academy also launched in June. That it's a self-paced school that you can extend to having a tutor at your side, but it's mainly also a way to join a networking community. So we use Slack. That is the tool that we use for team interaction. We use Slack to put the freelancers in contact also and have them exploring opportunities together. So this could be a way to extend the network that is so critical. So as said, I want to thank you again for being this hour or so with me here today. You will receive the recording of the webinar, and we are already connected. So any personal reflection or feedback that you may want to share with us, it's really very welcome, and I wish you a pleasant rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.